Hello, and welcome to another episode on the Move.Talk.Thrive podcast. It is 2026. How exciting! Today, we thought it would be really good to start the year off just unpacking how we're prepping for the year. We've got two completely different agendas for the year. Em is preparing for baby number three, and I am preparing for business growth in a balanced and really just calm way. So I have set myself up to achieve what I want to achieve without burning myself out, hopefully this year. So we thought it would be a really good episode just to talk about the two different ways in which we're preparing our year and two different roles that we're carrying this year, which I think will be applicable to so many people. So, welcome to another little chat. We're so excited that it's 2026. So many things in store for this year, and we can't wait to share them with you. So, with that being said, let's get started.
We are child development obsessed business besties and mums, and we're here to spill all our secrets.
We have a combined 30 years experience working with children, and each episode we will bring you up-to-date research and evidence-based strategies to set your children up to thrive.
I'm Lizzy Dawson, Australian exercise physiologist.
I'm Emily Mackie, Australian speech pathologist,
And this is the Move.Talk.Thrive podcast.
Hello.
Wonderful. Hi, Lizzy. Welcome back to 2026, right?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Have you been seeing the 2016 trend?
Yes, I have been seeing that, and
What is that? Do you know what it is? Like, is it just someone saying like,
I don't
or is
even
it
know where
that
it
are
came
they
from.
10-year cycles? Or is it like the Chinese
Oh, is
year?
that
Like,
it?
is it that?
Maybe. I don't know. I've just seen everyone posting about it, 2016.
Yeah. What were you
And
doing in 2016?
well, I was 2 years into my business, so probably head down, butt up in stress mode. Maybe
Yeah.
having a breakdown here and
Interesting.
there.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I started to speak about it in 2014. So I haven't actually pulled up photos. It's sort of one of those things where you keep seeing it on social media, and I keep
Yeah.
thinking, oh, I'd love to do that, but then like time gets away from me, right? Or
Yeah.
I don't have the
Yeah.
capacity
Yeah.
to
I
do
haven't I
that.
haven't like pre-planned this, so I therefore can't jump on the
Yeah.
bandwagon.
But I am really enjoying reading lots of my business friends,
Yeah.
their posts, and
Yeah.
seeing what they were doing because they were doing so much. And I feel like probably 2016 I was doing a lot because the business was in full startup mode, and
Yeah.
it's like business mode, but I was still finding my feet, finding myself. I probably only would have gone full time in the business maybe 12 months before that. So I would have had
Yeah.
new hires, new employees, I think I moved, new buildings. Yeah. What were you doing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's
Well,
work-wise.
interestingly,
Yeah.
I was just looking up what it doesn't seem to have any like spiritual meaning or anything. It's just I think
Just
it's
a
just
trend. It's just
yeah,
a social
just a
media
trend.
trend. You're thinking
Yeah.
about it too deeply, Lizzie.
I know.
It's
Surprise,
just a social
surprise.
media trend.
Yes. So,
We're showing our age.
interestingly, I was only just recovering from the stroke. We got Paris, my puppy, which was really healing for me. I got married and pregnant and European holiday.
In
So
2016.
basically, yeah, didn't work. Pretty much didn't work much at all.
Wow. We were
Yeah.
friends in 2016, weren't we?
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yes,
I
we
just
were.
was like, right, I'm like, I just stepped back. And that's when I really started to delegate everything because I was like, I don't have the capacity to do
Mm.
anything.
It makes you
Um,
realize how much you actually do each year, right?
yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to
Oh.
look back. So I should probably jump on the bandwagon, but I just find it a bit exhausting.
Trends, right? Trends.
Yeah,
I think it's
there's
a
2 million
great
TikToks. I
thing.
just I just read there's 2 million TikToks on it.
I
Yeah.
think it's a great thing though, because you were talking about reflections and stuff at the end of the year, and that's what we
Mm,
always do. And it's kind of like a reflection, but a reflection on
mm,
social media of your life, like your
yeah,
social life, yes. And it's
yeah.
always really nice to do that and to see how far you've come.
Yeah, it's like the all the memories on Facebook. Like I
Yeah.
don't post a lot on my personal Facebook anymore. And I'm a bit sad because I feel like the memories are not going to pop up
Oh
in the years to
yeah.
come if I don't post as much.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say. Like that's why they post a lot because they want the memories
Yeah.
of comparison.
But then
And
there's all this stuff about not posting your kids online.
yeah.
Oops.
Anyway.
We digress. So yeah, so two very different years for us this year.
Yes, very much so. Two different seasons. I feel like I'm going
Yeah.
back into, well, I am going back into the thick of it with newborn baby and mum
Yeah.
life. And
Yeah. So how have you prepared for that? Because you've also like the girls are transitioning as well. Like it's a big
yes,
thing.
yes. We have lots of changes going on right now. So obviously I am due to have the baby pretty soon within the month, which is super
Lovely.
exciting. Evie is about to start full-time school in about
Yep.
2 weeks, so that's a transition as well. I think it's a transition for Isabel being at home with me with another child, like a younger
Yeah.
child, and a transition for her having like not being the youngest
Yeah.
anymore. I don't know how she's going to go with that, but anyway, she gets a
Mhm.
lot of attention at the moment.
Yeah.
And then we're also transitioning a lot at work. Like, so Mackie and Bree are currently building out a new clinic as we speak, and they've got a deadline to get that done because we've got three new team members at the like starting next week.
Where's the
So
new clinic?
Tugra. So we're
Yep.
building um, a, a new office that's got 4 or 5 offices. So
Mm-hmm.
it will almost be the same size as Sydney. So it's sort of Tugra's started at this year with 1 to 2 species and it's just gone boom to 6. So
Mm.
they are in the thick of it. In the
Mm.
thick of it, and I'm supporting them through business coaching and just helping with logistics when I can because I've done that sort of stuff before. But so that's also a big transition, and it's a big transition to have such a growth in your team as well.
Mm.
Um, with so Bree's looking at bringing on potentially, like she's definitely got 3 new people starting next week, another fourth potentially in the works, and fifth. So to
Right.
bring on that many new people is a big transition. It's something that we've kind of honed and refined over the last 11 to 12 years, but it's still big, right?
Yeah.
So, in terms of, so like that's all the different transitions happening, I guess, on a very broad view. For me, what I've done, and I was working really hard last year to try to make sure I was um, had organized as much as my tasks as possible for this year to give myself space.
Yeah.
So, like, what that looks like is doing a lot of my social media planning, a lot of my emails, a lot of my marketing, restructuring how I show up for the members inside the PLA and that kind of thing. So I've sort of sorted that out, a lot of that work out till March or
Mm-hmm.
April. And then I guess the goal would be kind of similar to your goal to be able to maintain work, but in a calm way while all these transitions happen. And I guess the goals that I have are because of the season that I'm in, they're held very loosely, very, very
Yeah.
loosely. So
Yeah.
I
Some
have a few different
flexibility, right?
collaborations, a few different research things on the horizon, a few different people that I'm working with. But you just can't, when you're about to have a season with so many transitions, you just can't hold your goals tightly. And you've just got to let the timelines be as they are. And sometimes you might be surprised and you can get things done. And sometimes you just go, okay, I have to let this go and just be okay with waiting. So that's kind of like where I'm at. I have just general ideas,
Yeah.
and then we'll see how it goes this year.
Yeah.
And just, I think the main thing is being mindful of expectations, the expectations you put on yourself. So, and expectations that others potentially may put on you, and whether that's a good expectation or a realistic expectation, and then being okay communicating that with people, which I think I've learnt that now by third baby. because I feel
Yeah.
like there was a lot of expectation put on me from my team, not like it wasn't something that they wanted to do. So
Yeah.
like it wasn't, yeah. So yeah, just trying to manage that and be really clear with my communication this time around. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
kind of generally in a nutshell what's going on for me
That
this year.
feels really nice. It feels quite like very in your feminine energy, like going with the flow, listening to your body, which is so obviously aligned with having a baby and being pregnant and not kind of pushing through and just having
Mm.
flexibility around your goals and surrendering, which is just like, you
Yeah.
know, so aligned to having a baby, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because you
you
have to
have to,
surrender, you're not
right?
in control.
Yeah, you have to. And I think one thing I learned with the other two kids was it wasn't the fact that I didn't have time and I didn't have capacity to do things. What made it really stressful was when you put things in a box or on a timeline, or you were like, I
Mm,
need to be at this meeting at 9:30. Like that's just
yes.
unrealistic with kids.
Yep.
So I'm like, so say for example with Brie, I'm like, I can meet with you, but are you okay if I just let you know on the
Mhm.
day, like how I'm tracking and then what time I'll be able to do it? And it might even be half an hour
Yeah.
before, but then that sort of releases all that
Yeah.
expectation and stress. Because I think that's what I found the most stressful was when I
Yeah.
had locked myself in
Yep. Me
and I
too.
was like, ah.
I found with Flynn, because Flynn, my first, was an amazing sleeper. So I had all these meetings planned. I was still kind of very much in that work mode. And then if he woke up, I would be really stressed out. And I was kind of like juggling both because I'd committed to being in a meeting or, doing whatever I was that I kind of had in my
Yeah,
schedule. And so, despite him being a really good sleeper, I didn't really get the benefits of that because I was stressed out because I overcommitted with work. So, when I had
mm,
Marley, I was like, I'm like, my schedule is closed. I am not, for 12 months, I'm not having any scheduled meetings. If you need me,
mm,
you can ring me. If I'm available, I'll answer. If not, I will call you back when I'm available. And that worked really, really well. Like that was just,
mm.
and I communicated that, and the team called me, like, and I might have been out on a walk with him, and I could talk. And then if I was, having a day, I was like, I can't, I'm not available today,
Yeah.
which, yeah, that seemed to work. And again, it just comes down to those expectations and the communication, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I feel like, yeah, you just need to walk through it a few times to learn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
As with anything in life. Um, but yeah, so that's me. That's sort of where I'm at. That's the maternity perspective. I want to talk to you about you because yours are very different. You're jumping
Yeah.
into the thick of it with work and
Yeah.
not dialing back, you're dialing up, ramping
Yeah.
up.
I'm trying to dial up, but really take care and not overcommit. And when I'm essentially in four different roles,
Mm,
um, like significant roles, that obviously takes quite a bit of planning and preparation, I think. So,
mm,
after my reflection of last year, my kind of whole, I was feeling really flat at the end of the year. And I was just, obviously, I'd been sick for 12 weeks essentially. So I was like, right, I really need to go into next year. I really want to find, like, I need a bit of a glow up, like, just energetically, I needed to restore my energy. And I was like, how can I achieve what I want to achieve without um, compromising my health, essentially? And one of the things I've decided to do personally is sign up again for the New York Marathon. And
oh, woo, yeah.
yeah, so which is exciting. I'm going with another mum. She's doing it as well, and doing just a bit of a girls' trip, solo trip to the States. And it's going to be work, so I'm going to a pediatric conference over there. I'm doing quite a lot of networking. So the whole trip is to really be just a bit of a development trip, which will be really fun. But the reason I tell you this is because I have decided I've been working very closely with my ChatGPT, and I was like,
We
right,
know that.
I know. So I have been talking to it a lot, and I put in that I'm 44 this year. I found with the training, it obviously compromised. Well, the training in combination with life, uh, it obviously tested my immune system and I was quite run down. I also was finding that my weight was fluctuating. Anyway, long story short, my plan is to do the New York Marathon, but keep everything in that aerobic heart rate zone. So what that will do is it utilizes fat when you're exercising, and it is very like so much less stressful on your energy systems because you're utilizing a fuel that you've got unlimited sources of compared to going into anaerobic metabolism where you are burning carbohydrates and you need to fuel that training. So it's called zone 2 training for anyone that does any running, which is a heart rate of about 65 to 75%. So my goal is to do the New York Marathon and keep all my training in at around 68% of my maximum, and do the marathon so it's about 130 beats per minute. So keep all of my running in 130 beats per minute to reset my system and reduce my cortisol. So, which will kind of serve from like where I am life stage, perimenopause, through to burnout, through to actually training really effectively and efficiently and achieving my goal. And so what I have then done, so I kind of mapped that out, and then I sat down with Lorraine and I said, so this is what I'm doing with the marathon. And essentially, I want to use this as an analogy in my business and I want everything to be operating at zone 2. So while I have these big goals, like the marathon, if I use that as an analogy, but I want to do it in a way that I am like energetically balanced and feeling really good. So I want to take that into business, and I want to achieve all my goals, but I want to do it in zone 2. So we kind of used the zone 2 lens when we were mapping the year out and the goals for each of my roles, and businesses. And we went, all right, is this pushing me into zone 3 or is this keeping me in zone 2? So it's been really good. And the whole underlying thing is to restore my energy, get that energy in balance. And my little mantra is my sparkle is my superpower. So I need to get back to sparkly Liz because I definitely was not sparkly at the end of the year. So I want to get back to that vibrant, radiant energy, by staying in zone 2 for
That's
everything.
amazing. I love that analogy about the marathon. And
Yeah.
that's pretty relevant, isn't it? Like that's how you
Yeah.
should be doing business, which is like you said, from a place of calm, zone 2, not using all your resources and feeling completely depleted.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Totally. Yeah.
So, can we chat a bit more about maybe because you said like you're doing 4 different roles
Yeah.
and like your business plans of
Yeah.
how you've sort of organized that and what you've done for that
Yeah.
to
Sure.
stay in
So
zone 2? Yeah.
yeah, so I've got Northside Allied Health, which we've got 3 locations. I've got Kids Heart Pilates, and then I've got Lizzy Dawson in my courses, and then I've got my role at Proactive, which I'm a shareholder, I'm a mentor, and I'm now looking at some project management work to get like basically help with the pediatric space, and NDIS. And so what we did, so I started off by just going, okay, what what's kind of on the board to achieve this year with each of those different roles. And I sat down with Lorraine and we just went through those goals and we went, okay, where do I want to go? What do I need to do over the next 12 months to get there? And then we mapped it out. I've got it here. So we mapped out. So I've got quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four, and then I've got the roles. And then we started to break the goals up into when I could slot them into to each quarter. So with for example, with if we take the uh, marathon analogy again. So I've got the marathon that is in October, November. And so what do I need to be doing this quarter? I need to be building my base. I need to keep everything in that 130 beats per minute. I need to be really focusing on strength. So I'm building that base and I'm building strength. And then quarter two, I'm going to add, well, I'll see how far I get, but it's kind of like reflect and I'm going to build on that. And I've kind of done that with each of the businesses. So this is the end goal. These are the five kind of goals over the year. What quarters am I working on each of those goals or part of those goals? And then I start to look at quarter one and I'm like, right, how is quarter one making me feel? Is that zone two or is that pushing into zone three and four? And then quarter two, what have I got in terms of each business? So I've kind of got all of the roles, all of the businesses, and then what I'm doing in each quarter. Um, and Lorraine was like, okay, is any of that making you feel like you're pushing above zone two? Like, is that all zone two or where is pushing into zone three? And it feels pretty good. And then I went and put like my personal stuff. So the marathon, for example, and all of my leave. So I mapped out my leave for the year. And I was like, okay, quarter one, I've got a week's leave at the end of quarter one. Quarter two, I've got a week's leave. I've got another week's leave mid quarter three. And then I've got my USA trip in quarter four, plus I've got Christmas holidays in there. So it was really nice just to see each of the quarters, and I'm making sure that across all businesses, what I'm doing or what we're doing as a business even is not pushing so that I can actually stagger it and have focuses in different areas across the four quarters to maintain that zone two.
Yeah. And then so because you've mapped everything out over the 4 quarters, by the end of the year, then you will have achieved what you wanted to achieve, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And we kind of looked at, okay, so what's their like year goal and where do we need to be in quarter? So we've got, that's your quarter four, I guess, where you want to be. It's like, where do we need to be? And you work backwards. Where do I need to be in quarter three to be on my way to quarter four? Where do I need to be at end of quarter?
Mm.
So basically, where do I need to be in end of September? Where do I need to be in end of June? And where do I need to be end of March to be on my way to that goal? So for example, if I with Northside, we're in a growth phase. So we're actually trying to grow by 50%. So I've worked out that I need to be month on month, well, quarter on quarter, 15% increase on the
Okay.
previous quarter in terms of
Yeah.
growth. And then I work
Yeah.
out what that is in terms of numbers. I work out what I need to be doing from a hiring perspective. So it kind of works out quite
Mm.
easily.
Mm. I think that's really good because sometimes if we don't map things out and we have that goal, right? Like, so you have the goal that you want to increase by 50%, you can start the year and go really, really hard because
Yes.
you're really trying to achieve that goal and you haven't mapped out, can I actually achieve this? Like, is this realistic
Yep.
or reasonable in a certain time frame? Whereas
Yeah.
by what you've done, you know the plan, you know the outcome. And so you're like, okay, I'm just happy to move at this pace because I know that everything is accounted for and everything
Yep.
I'm doing will get me there. I don't need to move faster because it's
Yep.
all planned out and mapped out. I think that's really wise, really wise to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And it's really going, it really does help you move at a steady pace rather than just
Yeah.
going in gun ho, because
Yeah.
you know what your outcomes are.
Yeah. And if
Yeah.
you take it back to the marathon training analogy, you're so it's so tempting for me to break that 1:30 and just particularly with Strava. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like doing 7:30 minutes per kilometer. Like it is super,
So
super slow,
that's a very
super slow.
slow pace. Yes.
Super slow. It is, I'm like I did a 9K the other week and it's not hilly, but there are some inclines. The average was 8:05 per kilometer. I was like, oh my God, this is
Oh my
so
gosh.
like just testing my ego so much. However, that is where my body's at. I need to respect where my body's at. I need to trust the process. I need to keep doing I need to work in this zone for my body to respond to this. If I don't work in this zone, my body is not going to build more capillaries, delivering more oxygenated blood to my muscles. So it's not going to respond. So I need to do this foundation work to trust the process and get to that next stage. And I put into ChatGPT what it thought, like how long it would, if I was doing 3 runs a week at, this many minutes in this zone, what it expected me to get to. And it said I would probably see a change in about 2 months. And I could see my pace improving to like 5:30s, it's saying, by October, November. So I've just got to
Oh,
trust
that's
the
good.
process and I'm doing the things that I need to be doing now to get to there, and I'm not in a rush. It's-
Yes, I think that's the key. You got to trust the process, not be in a rush, and know that
yeah,
it's mapped out, and know that you will get there, and you don't need to be like, it's kind of like, you don't need to be manic doing it. Like, you don't need to have those big
yeah,
ups and downs and ups and downs. Like, it's just
consistency.
stable, slow and steady wins the
Yeah,
race. Ha,
yeah,
there you go.
for sure.
So do you have contingencies though? Because when you map all this out, like say you get to end of quarter one, so at the end of March, and you haven't hit that, say 15%, do you
Yeah,
have contingencies? I guess it could go either way, like for what a really great result looks like, and then what if you haven't achieved that result, or it's a bit lower?
yeah.
Do you plan about that and think about that?
Well, I think my thought on that is I've got kind of like a best case scenario, and I've been talking about this because we're looking at like profit and losses and we're forecasting, right? So uh, I'm like, well, if we hit these numbers, we will be seeing, X, uh, X amount of return or revenue and profit. Like you kind of break it up. And then I'm like, okay, if we look at this really conservatively, like if we don't hit these numbers and we remain at just where we are, this is where we like basically if we maintain, this is where we're going to end up, which is also like we're grown, I think it's 35% on where we were last year. So it's kind of just looking at it and having a bit of grace about it as well. And again, trusting that process and go, well, if we keep doing what we've been doing the last 12 months, we've seen a 35% increase. And then it's kind of having those goals in the back of our mind. And when we're making all of these other decisions, it's like, okay, are we going to invest in this marketing campaign? Like we were doing a marketing meeting yesterday. It's like, are we going to invest in this marketing campaign? Then we go, okay, well, if we want to get to these numbers, then we need to invest in this marketing campaign. Like this is
Mm,
aligned to what we're wanting to do. But at the same time, I think it's again exactly what you're saying in and around yours. It's flexibility, and it's, we talked about this in terms of what my goals were last year, and just knowing that if you so if I am trying to just say, if we take this growth stage for Northside, if we are aiming for this growth and we're consistently looking after our team and our energy, so we're not doing it in a way that's unsustainable and we're just taking these consistent steps, we are going to go in that direction, whether we hit those exact numbers or not. We're
Mm,
we're doing the things that people, you're kind of becoming the people that are going to achieve those goals, and you're going to learn all of these things. And it might be that you achieve something completely different,
mm,
like I did with the marathon last year. Like
mm,
that was such an amazing reframe for me, and has then put me in this, like that personal goal has then helped me create what I want to create across my businesses this year, which I think is a much more stable, consistent approach to that growth that I'm wanting to achieve in a really calm way. Like I'm not kind of desperate to achieve it, to I don't know, tick it off or be at a certain revenue bracket or be a certain size. It's like I look at what we did last year, and we're looking at what we want to create and the impact, and I feel really comfortable that the goal is just a goal.
mm,
And I think it's just having that flexibility about it, and it's about
mm,
what you're actually achieving in the process and what you're learning in the process.
mm. So it's like your mindset around it as well.
Yeah. So it's a mindset rather than a contingency, I think.
And I think it's helpful if you've mapped it out in quarters, right? Because then say you do get to say whatever the end of March and you're like, okay, we've achieved this halfway, for
Yeah.
example, then you can say, okay, well, that's just going to push out potentially even the goal may go into next year. And so you can
Yep.
then keep organizing your time and go, okay, well, we'll just then achieve the next half of the next quarter. We might
Yep.
then just, you can sort of then map it out and then have really clear expectations of when you would then expect it to happen,
Yep.
and map it out because you've mapped all the steps out.
Yeah. And it's about taking the steps, but sometimes the steps get you a quarter of a way than where you think it's going to get you. Like it just
Yeah.
takes, I feel like it takes you so much longer than what you anticipate it's going to take you. But if you
Yeah.
hadn't set that goal, you probably wouldn't be taking any of the steps anyway.
No, or you'd be doing it in a really stressful way, like not in a
Yeah.
calm way.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And what was I going to say?
Like I miss my mark all the time. I've missed so many goals. I have my little vision board, and I've got laminated in my shower. I was actually looking at 2025's this morning when I was in the shower, and I am just over, like maybe 5K over half of what I wanted to make in one of my businesses last year. So
Okay.
I didn't go anywhere near what my target was, but I've definitely learnt more, and I've put things in place, and I'm like, it's part of that journey of, I love the strategy and, like just enjoying that process as well. I don't kind of get too hung up on the outcome, like the marathon analogy, like what I just talked about with one of the businesses, because I still grew and I still am on the trajectory of that. It just didn't happen in the time frame. And, sometimes you redirect as well.
Yeah, it's more about the journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
who you need to be to achieve those goals, because you become the person that would achieve those goals. And if even if you don't hit the exact numbers, it's still about the daily things that you're doing each day.
Yeah, daily practices. And so the bottom line is don't be scared to set goals, big
Yeah.
goals, right? And then don't be scared if you don't achieve those goals or the time frame or they need to be adjusted or pivoted because that's a part of normal growth and that's a
Mm,
part of the journey. And that's then what you need everything you learn on the journey to actually then be able to sustain the outcome. Because the thing
mm,
is, once you actually achieve the goal, so even if it's growing 50%, like you're saying, you then need to be able to sustain that into the next goal and maintain that. And so if you achieve a goal from a place of burnout and stress, then how are you going to maintain it?
yeah.
It's just going to fall apart. So that journey is so important, like the be, who are you becoming to get and achieve that goal is so important. But I also think we have a lot of plans like business owners in particular. And then we just have a lot of things that always pop up, right? That we
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
expected or that we hadn't anticipated for or planned for. And sometimes that has to divert your attention to something else, or there might be a new opportunity that comes. And so you've got to sort of allow white space for that as much as you planned, but then also go, well, how does this fit in with what I had done at the beginning of the year, and pivot and be flexible and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So you really need to be zone two, lower end of, because the unexpected can push you into zone three. And you can do that for short bouts, but if you've got everything in zone three at the start of the year and you've got like a full schedule, which is what I had last year, 100%.
You were in zone
And
three all year.
I would, yeah, all year from the get. I was in zone five from the year prior. So I was like sprinting the whole time. I stepped into admin in both businesses. I like big recruitment. It was zone three in all aspects, you know? So
Yeah.
I think yeah, it's been
So then when
such a great learning.
those then little fires come or unexpected things, you've got nowhere to draw from. So if
No
you're in zone,
reserves.
is it zone two? That's what you're saying you want to be in.
Yeah.
If you're in zone two, then if it needs to go up into zone three, you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super smart. Super smart
Yeah.
analogy. Very
Yeah.
good. Very good.
So we'll
Very
see.
good.
And chat GPT's got really good, like I put in there weekly check-ins. So I've got prompts for me to check in each week just to like track my energy, how I'm feeling, all of those things to keep me accountable to that. Because I
Yeah.
think I just get I'm kind of like all or nothing. Like I'm going 100 miles an hour or I'm collapsed on the couch, really unwell for 3 months. So it's about kind of being really considered and calm and going, okay, is this aligned to this zone two sparkle life that I want to live?
Yeah.
Because if I if I'm going that like excited 100 miles an hour pace, I can only do that for really short bouts, and I need to follow that with a recovery, um, because it's just too much,
It's
and then
really
I've got
honing in on your
nothing
discipline.
left.
It's really
Yeah.
getting this sort of discipline sorted.
And for
Yeah.
anyone that runs, you know that keeping your heart rate in that zone, it is so much discipline. Like I literally am having to walk, or like I'm essentially running on the spot. It is so hard, but every time it's such a good reminder to me because I'm just like, this is the discipline that I need right now, and I need to test myself on this discipline of pulling back, and I've got to take this into every single day. So I did, I don't know, 5.5K this morning, average 7:30 per kilometer, which is like I was doing 5:30s to 6 minute Ks before.
Yeah.
And average heart rate was, I don't know, 125, 128 or something. And I don't even feel like I ran. Like I'm now energetically don't even feel like I've been for a run. It's more like I feel like I've been for a walk, which is exactly where I need to be.
Mm, mm.
Whereas
It's
before I'd be like,
definitely a shift. Definitely a shift
yeah,
in mindset. Yeah.
yeah. And it's
Yeah.
just like, I feel like that marathon analogy is so good for me because that's something that training for a goal has been something that I've always done. And I'm like, right, I now need to take everything that I've learnt from that because that's so relative and relatable for me into my work life and have that lens in my work life to create the boundaries to decide yes or no whether I'm going to do something. So
This now.
that, yeah, so that I can do this being aligned with what my values are, which is having energy and being
Yeah.
well and healthy.
Yeah. Being present. Because that's what it's all about, right? Like at the end of the day, you want to look back the same way that you plan out this year, like in the next 10, 20 years, you want to look back and go, I've had a great career, but not at the expense of my family, not at the expense of my health, not at the expense of any of those things that are actually the most important things in life, right? Work gives us purpose, it gives us meaning, but, when you think about it, your family is the most important thing, and the people like your kids, and you want to be modeling those things for them. So that's why it's so important. It's so important to be
Because,
steady.
yeah, that's right. And when you don't, what happens is like epic resentment.
Mm.
Like you're like, I do this and I do this and I do this, and I get nothing back, or I'm absolutely exhausted. I kind of got to the point last year, I'm like, if it takes this much hustle to be successful or successful in terms of business, I'm not actually interested anymore. Like, this
Mm.
is not the life that I want to live. Like, I don't want to get to the point where I can't, do my marathon goal because I'm so exhausted, or I can't go on a holiday and be well with my kids, or, I can't do anything on the weekends because I'm so tired. I'm actually not interested if it takes that much hustle, and
Mm.
if it doesn't come organically with consistent steps that look after me, then you know what? I don't care if it doesn't work. Like, I need to get over that kind of ego that I will literally kill myself to make this work. No, it doesn't
Mm.
define me.
No, definitely not. It's not worth it, is it? Which you've
No.
you've realized and found out. Sometimes you have to go through that to realize that, though. Like,
Mm.
people could tell you, but when you're a very high achiever, you have to sort of suffer a bit.
Mm.
And then
Yeah.
go, okay, I'm at my rope's end.
Yeah.
I need to change and shift priorities.
Yeah.
And so,
And why? Why do I keep getting to the end of the rope?
yes.
Like, why? I've been there a few times, and I feel like each awakening is bigger. Like, it's just like this, like I'm evolving.
Mm.
Um, And I feel like it was, yeah, if I reflect on that 2016, it was kind of
Yeah.
similar mode that I'm in now, which
Yeah.
I was just like, I can't do that anymore. I just got really unwell, and it put everything into perspective. And that was obviously way worse. And then I
Mm.
followed it with a year of just filling my cup in a family, personal way. Like, I completely shifted. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like I've been on this 10-year cycle, and I've been crawling back to that. And I'm like, right, need to take it back again.
Yeah. Good.
And
Yeah.
so the goal now is to not kind of get to that point.
And this is a part of the journey, right? You're constantly reevaluating, and you're constantly just going, okay, hang on, what's happening? I need to pull it back. I need to go forward. Doesn't mean you've done the right or wrong thing. It's just you're constantly having to just recalibrate. And particularly when you've got lots of different seasons and times in life happening and lots of different things going on, it's pretty normal, right? Pretty normal part of the
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
Um, I think there's been lots of gold nuggets in there from what you've said for people today. Like, it's been quite vulnerable. Thank you for sharing.
Oh,
Thank
no
you for like
worries.
sharing it all, because I think that, often we see the good stuff, and we
Mm.
see the achievements, but then it's good to like dive into it in the back end. And I think it's really good to
Mm.
dive into it before you sometimes achieve things. Because it's like, how did you get to
Yeah.
achieve something? What are the steps that you needed to take? What was the mindset you needed to have to achieve that? Because people just see the
Mm.
success, or they just see the milestone, but there's a lot behind it, and a lot that goes into it, and a lot of thought, right? And
Yeah.
intentionality
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah. And I think we've just got to be like, we've got to build things that are sustainable, because if it's kind of reliant on us to do all of the things and put on all of this energy, then it's not sustainable,
No, and that's what I
right?
mean. Like, whatever goals you have for yourself, whether you're a business owner, an employee, a student, you have to be able to achieve, to maintain and sustain those goals. Otherwise, the goal is not worth it, right? Um,
Exactly.
yeah, it doesn't matter whether you've got a business or whether you're trying to complete a degree. It's the same principle.
Mm.
So, yeah, I hope that's been helpful for everyone, if you to unpack that today. And
Hopefully.
obviously, if you're in the maternity zone, I hope that was helpful, what little I said.
Oh, so helpful, I think.
Because
Like,
it's very different, right? Like, our streams are very different, but brings two unique perspectives, and you can still achieve in both ways what we're doing, and
yeah.
um it's just different seasons. So yeah, we hope that that's been helpful. We hope it's given you like a bit of food for thought if you're a business owner in particular, like in how you're going to achieve your goals and what you've mapped out for this year, even if you're an employee as well or a student or an educator, like how you're going to set yourself up this year. And then mindset, I think, is the biggest thing. That's what we've sort of talked about in the journey. So what you're going to, how you're going to approach those things. If you have any questions or if you want to chat to Lizzy or myself more, maybe not me so much, I might take a little bit more time to get back to you. But as always, send us a message, like Lizzy's working, send us a message, and
Yeah.
more than happy to chat to you and help. And thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.